Hello and welcome everybody to Kahaaniyaan, our season 2 finale right here on Huetopia. I am Mariam, the keeper of this Monster of the Week game that is oh boy, there's going to be so much happening today. But before we get into all of that, I would like to quickly go around our virtual table and introduce the cast and quickly tell us who you're playing. Let's go by how many luck points have been used. So we'll start with the summoned Bashir.
Hey, I am Bashir Gauss, he, him. I play Karnane, also he, him. Karnane is a horrible ancient prince of the apocalypse destined to usher forth a new age of violence and terror, devouring everything in his path until struck down by fated god. But having been summoned a bit early and potentially and gone rogue, he's by now decided that actually he kind of likes the world as is and is doing his best to save it for given definitions of save. Even if he has kind of mildly slipped back into some people eating habits with targets I'm sure no one will miss.
Wonderful. And our next, also currently at 5 out of 7 luck points, our divine character.
Hi, I'm Mo, they, she pronouns. I play Nira, she, her pronouns, the divine water demi-elemental who came into this world to actually bring on another apocalypse that she was getting attached to. Then, emotions happened and she fell for a mortal and she's like, wait, maybe we shouldn't. Maybe we should change things up a bit. Maybe make it less like apocalyptic and yeah, we're here. This is it. This is it, y'all.
Speaking of said mortal, Connie.
Oh boy. Hey everyone, Connie, pronouns they, he, and she. I will be playing Wooming for perhaps the final time. You should take that ominously, take that how you will. She is our professional. She is a mortal. She rides a cute little stag called Boog, who has more magical powers than she does. So we're going into this armed with nothing but gayness and a really powerful longbow. And I suppose I'll pass it along to our least doomed PC played by Kupo.
I don't know about least doomed, but hey. Hi, I'm Kupo, and I will be playing Haiti for possibly the last time. And Haiti is, I'll be using the Snoop playbook. Both of our pronouns are they, them. And basically all that means is Haiti is the streamer of this world, and they are going to record the end of the world or the team saving it. Who's to say? We'll see.
Yeah, and for those of you tuning in for the first time for this last episode of season 2, I never do recaps. I like to put that on my players. So without further ado, who would like to recap what happened last episode? A lot happened last episode.
Yeah, oh geez. First off, I think it ended with us talking to or making sure that demi-elemental of water was safe.
There's no more fire.
And no, we're not there yet.
Oh,
spoilers. And then multiple things happened at once. The ritual began to the north. The agency was on fire. Samar's?
Salim.
Salim, thank you. House was on fire as well, is that right? Or was it under attack?
Everything was on fire.
Both.
Yeah, everything
was
was on
under
fire.
attack and
everything
on
was on fire, and then we got split up. We went to the agency, and I was starting to go to the ritual.
saying pick one thing to do.
Went to Samal's house. Things happened. Agency burned to the ground. Actually, no, Connie, you take about the agency.
Well, yeah, Wooming may or may not have done a oopsie, my bad. So she and Haiti went to the agency to try to, it was under fire. It was getting attacked by cultists. Something had to be done. So Wooming flew down there on Boog's back with Haiti. Haiti tried something, but it didn't work. And I'll let you fill in the details of that when it gets to your turn in the recap. But Wooming was like, screw it. I know there are oil barrels that are extremely flammable somewhere inside the agency. If I blow up the oil barrels, it'll blow up all the cultists, right? And save the day. And I used my luck points to make this happen. Like a full-on 12, full hit. It worked. I blew up the agency, but then I forgot that there were other people in the building too, including our allies and ourselves. So we got blown up. My friends got blown up. My coworkers got blown up. But by spending another luck point, my coworkers, none of them died. They just got knocked unconscious or were hurt really, really bad. But none of them died. All the cultists, I think, were either incapacitated or killed, though. Now, Wooming and Haiti are dragging themselves out of the rubble, have reconvened with our elementals to try to stop the ritual that is now underway. And with that, I'm going to pass along the recap baton to Kupo to fill us in about things from Haiti's perspective, because Wooming did a big oopsie there, but I feel like Haiti did a slightly less big oopsie that might take some heat off of Wooming.
to distract from Mooming's big oopsies. So Haiti went along, well, the team split up as by our own choice. We made that choice. Yes, we did. First of hope. I will be the first to admit. We all made the choice to split the party, and Haiti decided to go with Wooming to try and see to stop if they can somehow save or help out with the agency. Now for Haiti wanted to try and use one of their, basically they were going to use one of the moves they stole from the Summon playbook, which Mayhem, which basically I can Hulk out for a little bit and pick up something heavier and bigger than I am and, use it. But unfortunately, luck was not on my side. And so I effed up and injured both Haiti and Wooming. And so Wooming kind of had to, take up the mantle and kind of save my butt. But instead, blew up the agency. So there's that. And then while we got out of the rubble, we met back with Nira, and we all got to the decision that it's almost the final showdown, and we ended up all hugging each other, and Haiti felt really super, super happy about that.
Meanwhile, across the city.
While this is happening, Kahaaniyaan.
Kahaaniyaan realized that got the kind of mental note that his summoner was under attack and that some sorcerers were trying to find the book used to summon him. He went back to rescue Salim, a poor dude who up until now has pretty much only gotten grief from having Kahaaniyaan in his life. He broke into the house, which was on fire and filled with sorcerers. And during the fight with a bunch of the sorcerers, lost what remained of his human disguise, more or less, and revealed himself as kind of this enormous, spindly bug monster with a lot of pointy limbs, red chitin, and many, many teeth. One of the sorcerers got the book. This was a mistake. Let's see. I don't remember if that's the one who kind of got exploded or if that's the one who got eaten, but
I think that was the one who got eaten.
Yeah, that guy got eaten. Kahaaniyaan got the book. The rest of the sorcerers decided, actually, I don't want to star in the thing today, and bailed. And Kahaaniyaan rescued Salim, got out, and revealed what he is to the rest of the group, and started kind of trying to put himself back together in preparation for the climactic fight, which was when we all felt fire be sucked from the world as part of this apocalyptic ritual. And we realized we are low on time.
Indeed, the ritual has truly begun, and because you all are so kind-hearted, no good deed goes unpunished, and The Ascendants managed to finish one major part of the ritual, and all the fire in the world is gone. And we come back to that moment as each and every source of firelight, torchlight starts winking off one by one. The city is pitch black. There is a cold-ish wind flowing through. It's as if there was a part and there's a void now, and suddenly you feel for those who are not elemental in nature or supernatural in nature, you feel this chill starting to creep in. You can feel the other elements sort of almost rising up to fill that void, and there's this huge imbalance. And definitely for Nira and for Karnane, you can feel this sort of disturbance in the force, in the elements. You feel that void of a natural part of this world gone, and at the same time you can feel this roiling and boiling of your element and your, I guess, sibling elements as they rage for this loss that has happened. And as you all are in the moment trying to process what just happened, aside from it being cold and aside from the lack of light, you feel the earth starting to rumble just a little beneath you as if it is next.
We need to move now.
Yeah. We are running out of time in more ways than one. Let's see. I assume, like, what's happening with the sun?
This is nighttime at the moment, so the sun, but you do see the moon. We'll assume it's a full moon for the sake of illustration. You see the moon start to turn the shade of reddish black as if it is starting to miss the light from the sun.
Yeah, we need to move real quick because I don't want to know what happens when the earth disappears beneath our feet.
Yeah, let's go. Boo, come on.
Yeah, so you will make your way to the ritual site as you had discovered where it was before. However, before you do, you have a bit of an obstacle in your path. You can barely see, there are the twinkle lights of the stars above you, and that moon you're losing visibility, so there's that issue. And you are also starting to feel very cold. Normally, this would be a warm sort of summer evening. It is very chilly right now. Both of these things are going to hinder your speed, essentially, in making it there. So, collectively as a group, figure out how you're going to deal with this. Otherwise, it's going to be slow going to that ritual site, and who knows what will happen if you delay further.
So, I've got a bunch of mini-me's who can kind of act as guides and who probably need less light than I do, just because a lot of their descriptions didn't really have eyes. They were kind of propelled by hunger and
and I would say like tremor sense and that sort of a thing. Yeah, okay, so you can with the help of your chitinous minions, you can deal with the lack of visibility a little bit. How are you going to deal with the cold?
So we can't really summon. We can't do heat because there is no fire in the world beyond like maybe friction. Well, you three should obviously bundle up, group together and conserve body heat.
How dare you?
Look, I'm just getting ahead of what the plan already is.
This
I can
Kupo,
read a room.
Kupo's face.
Yeah, I'm not in. That's not a non-it. Haiti doesn't know what's going on. Like, they're too innocent for that.
I think. Can I also maybe do a magic as well?
Yeah, what are you trying to do?
Oh, I'm trying to heat up the air around us because moisture in the air.
Mhm.
Just by magic, not even using fire. Just like trying at least warm up the moisture in the air, like in like a bubble around us. So it's like at least like, if anything, it's a warm, humid.
So like, so basically, you're trying to create sort of like a weatherproofing barrier, like an sort of isolation sort of a thing.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
around the four of us.
Yeah.
so-
Okay. Yeah. I can work with that.
The only dice I have right now, because all my other dice is like up there, is some candy cane dice. So we'll see how the candy canes work for once. I think the other dice are cursed. Would that be magic or big magic?
I would say no. That would be regular magic. That's something within your purview, and you're just making a localized sort of with your covering your friends, I imagine.
Yeah. Oh, hold on, I'm trying to find it. It's a page. Oh, here we go. 16. Weird. Okay, and that's a +1 for me.
Yeah, and is anybody wanting to help or any of that sort?
I will assist. I think with the elements going, my magic might be Garnane at least figures that his magic is probably relatively reliable, and he has a recent, let's call it, supercharge from the
From
the
essentially eating someone.
Yeah.
You are not elemental, however the loss of the elements will impact you,
Yes.
but not to the degree that Nira or anyone else would. Yeah, so you can do the help out, which is roll with cool.
All right. That's going to be 7, just 7, because my cool is 0.
Yep. So you do grant them a 1, +1, and we will see. We will deal with the second half of that after Nira has completed their task.
Okay, so let's do this. You know what? We're getting down to the wire. I rolled a 4. So I'm just gonna, because we are getting down to the wire, I'm gonna use another luck point.
Okay, this is your second last luck point.
Oh, I know.
Worth it. Worth it.
Worth
Come on.
Worth it. Yeah,
okay.
so you succeed. You succeed spectacularly. Yeah, please describe how you create this protective barrier as you make your way to the ritual site.
And does the lack of fire, because it throws me off balance, it weakens me, right? Just a little bit. Is that?
You're not. I'm gonna say it's more chaotic. It's like, you know, like there's like ebb and flow where, you know, basically, yeah, the loss of a thing it's making you unbalanced essentially.
Okay. I think I'm trying to find the focus, and with Cornane helping out as well. Basically, Nira's just focusing and like drawing the moisture from the earth and the ground, and like on the sides of the rocks, and like all the dew and condensations that's forming because of the lack of heat and the sudden drop in temperature, and making it rise because moisture rises when the heat does, like, you know. And then sort of like have it sort of like all these like small microscopic water droplets just come closer to us, so we're like in like this little like bubble of sorts of and with that having them help keep our heat within our bubble. So it's not only like the water itself is like warming up and like floating around us, it's a barrier to keep our body heat from not escaping too far.
Okay. Yeah. That happens, and because you did use a luck point, you get another vision from the elementals of what will happen if you don't stop this immediately. And you see in various places a montage of like quick flash of images. You see the ground opening up in gigantic cracks, buildings being torn, essentially devastating earthquakes. You see landslides happening in the mountains cracking open, and all the wildlife and creatures that are there just falling to the ground into some void. And as you sort of have a quick glance off the cracks, like, okay, so what, the earth's breaking apart. It's fine. They'll fall somewhere down. No, it's just void. There's nothing underneath those cracks. You see one person sort of going, whoa, fall, and falls in and almost dissolves into nothing. There is nothing left of them as they fall. And suddenly you come back. You do not see that happening around you, but you do feel the earth starting to have minor tremors, as if this is an ominous promise of what's to come.
And I think with that, Nira just picks up her pace and she's like, we have to go faster.
Noted.
We're going as fast as I can, we think. I mean, it's a little bit warmer now. Thanks for whatever you did, Nira, but yeah, I don't know how we can go much faster unless Wu Ming, you can, I don't know if Boog can speed up.
I pat Boog on the side of his neck. All right, Boogie boy. Come on. You can do this. You've hit stag puberty. You've unlocked these magical powers. I know you have more in you. You can do this. And I'm trying to, like, what Wu Ming's trying to do to make us get there faster is just like make Boog feel like have more self-esteem and like go faster.
Yeah, okay.
That teenage hubris.
I'm gonna say that would be let's use some of this alternate weird, but I will say that you can use it'll be actually we'll just do help out, I think is probably the best. So roll with cool.
Okay. Ooh. It's a 3.
And I would add a
2.
+1 to that because you already have a connection with Boog, and Boog's kind of seeing all of this going.
Okay, the total's gonna be a 9.
Yeah. So you see Boog starting to pick up the pace, and I will hang on to that exposing yourself to trouble or to danger for later.
Oh boy.
I will just hang on to that little nugget for later. So you soar over the city and you see basically not much because it is dark. With whatever little lights of the starlit night as well as the slowly darkening moon, you make your way as quickly as possible to where you know the ritual site is outside of the city. You see... Go ahead.
Can I ask Katie a question while this is happening?
Go ahead.
Katie, do you have anything that can help light up the darkness that isn't fire powered? I know you've got technology in your belt somewhere.
Oh, yeah. And like kind of snaps their fingers and the butterfly appears and just like give me some light, and kind of has, despite the small like figure of the butterfly, like maybe from the wings it just starts like kind of like almost like this heavy duty light for like night videos that Haiti has been.
Yeah, it's infrared. Everybody looks that icky green, light green.
Oh sure. Is it your like ring light when you're like listening to fantasy TikTok? Okay.
Yeah, there's different modes, like the selfie.
It's
lighting,
a selfie mode, yeah.
Yeah.
I changed the filter. I don't like this one.
Oh.
Do you have Valencia?
Are you sure?
Can we get the
It's
Valencia?
the end of the world, and
You
you're
like this
concerned
one.
about selfies.
Fine, I'll put it on Amara. Like,
Okay, yeah. Change the saturation. Bump it down. I have to look good.
Oh my God, Wu Ming.
Well, hey, it's the end of the world. Try to have some humor about it, eh? Go down in style.
Yeah, sure. And then the butterfly kind of goes near the front of Boog and lights the way.
Nice.
Yeah. Let's if anybody here wants to do fan art, this is definitely a scene that would be very cute to draw. Just saying. And
Apocalypse selfie.
yes. Happy holidays from the apocalypse. Yeah, so you make your way and you start to descend, and you notice that there is quite a few sort of robed figures, but they don't seem to be doing very well. You have right now enough visibility, and they haven't quite noticed you yet. But almost, I would say, the bulk of them, they're rolling in the ground, sort of shivering heavily and feeling absolutely like they look like they are frozen to the core and very weak, as if a huge part of their essence is gone. And you notice that the robes, colored for your convenience, are sort of reds and oranges. It looked like they might have been fire mages, and they have like fire embroidery, and they look as strong as mewling kittens. All of them. They're just rolling around. They sort of weakly look up at you at this point, but they just don't feel like you get the sense like even if they couldn't really do much against you.
Good to know.
I think
What do y'all
Nira
do?
looks down at them in disdain and just steps over them, keeps going.
They try to just very weakly kind of stop.
I think there's a very clear moment where Carnade is considering, I might be able to use this on the way there. Like, maybe a top-up's useful right now, and decides against it. Though he's like, there isn't like a moment where he goes, this is a bad idea. He just kind of stops looking back at them and just keeps running forward to keep up with everyone else.
This isn't right. I don't agree with what you've been doing with your lives, but this is wrong. Wooming gets down on one. I think hops off Boog. Gets down on one knee to look at one of these fire mages. How do they do this? Where do they go?
I mean, we're pretty sure the ritual's at that abandoned stepwell, right?
Yep.
Yes,
And you
100%,
notice,
yeah.
and you know that and you actually see out of all, and because of the lack of light practically everywhere else, the stepwell is almost like a beacon in the distance. As you feel the warmth just a touch, almost to the point where you think if you go in, it might be a little unbearable. And the light definitely is streaming because the stepwells are open air. So just a beacon to you. And you see...
I just want to make sure it's not a huge illusion or trap. Just gotta talk to the fire mage for a second.
Sure. I would say that would probably be read a bad situation.
Oh boy. If the fire mage is able to speak, can they help me on this roll? You can say no.
No,
that's
I'm
fine.
just trying to think about it, and it's I don't think they are in any. Regardless of how they're feeling, they do not agree with y'all, and would not help even if they could.
All right, well, screw these guys. I'll read the situation myself. Okay, sharp. Ooh, that's a 6. Ooh, that's a 3. That's a 9 plus 1, 10.
Yeah. So you get to hold a tree to ask questions.
I would like. The first one is, what's my best way in?
Directly into the entrance of the stepwell.
Okay. Let's see. Are there any dangers we haven't noticed?
You start to see several pairs of orbs of light in the high grass. Looking hungrily at the source of flame and light of the stepwell. It's basically those wildcats that you saw earlier.
Okay.
Not quite sure how they feel about you, but they are cold. possibly hungry.
Could probably just fly over them, right? All right, I think I'm gonna hold my last one until we like actually get into the stepwell.
Sure. And Haiti, is there? I just wanted to check in if there was anything you'd like to do, or
Um, we're talking to the fire mages, right?
you're near where the
Ish,
fire,
or
the
near.
vanguard, essentially,
Oh.
that would have blocked you from entering the stepwell. Most of them seem to be fire mages, and they're all kind of strewn about, all fours, crawling or in a fetal position, not doing too great. It seems like siphoning all the fire really hit them hard, and nobody told them that was going to happen.
Yeah, I think Haiti just looks down, like just looks at them, and like the butterfly is around and is just, you look like you're in a lot of pain, and for what it's worth, I'm sorry. And just kind of, it was just very awkward and uncomfortable because they know they're like not exactly the good guys, but
Yeah, and I'm actually going to cash in those help mix success help outs at this point, and you both, Garnane and Wooming, as you're sort of getting ready to go, some of the stronger ones just grab your ankle and trip, or trying to trip you, of like, no, don't go, don't leave me.
Well, you asked to come along, and I think Garnade's kind of gonna grab whoever did this, put it on his back, and like keep going. We're now bringing this mage along.
Okay.
Technically, this is a rescue. We're gonna try and keep it a rescue, but you know, no guarantees long term.
You also have Salim with you. Where is Salim in all of this?
I mean, I think we put Salim down somewhere safe. I'm not bringing him into this giant fight
would have been
with
funny
the
though.
person he had a crush on. Like,
Oh yeah, it was revealed the whole sole reason of trying to use that book was to impress his crush. And the crush happens to be the major player of the Ascendants.
yeah.
Okay, yeah, so you yup, add a fire mage to your inventory.
All right.
A very weakened fire mage. And Wu-Ming, what are you doing as you're basically being held somehow oddly with a death grip?
Can I just stomp this guy? Stomp this person in the head and just try to knock him out?
Sure, kick
I
some
don't have time
ass.
for this. All right, I'm gonna kick their
Don't-
butt. That's woo.
What
Can someone
happened?
help me? Can someone use the help action, please? I just need
Sure.
a +1. I got a 6.
I'll help.
Yeah. How are you
How
helping?
are you helping me? Yeah.
I what do I do? Like I would like
Do you also
I don't know.
kick?
yeah, like I would also be like,
We're ganging
yeah,
up on him.
Wu-Ming. Yeah, I would be like, yeah, Wu-Ming, and then I would like kind of get my own little kick in there.
All right. Roll plus cool.
Me too, or just
No, you have to roll plus cool to help out, essentially. How are you?
7.
7. That's enough.
Oh yes.
You do get a +1. However, we're gonna go into chain ankle grabbing. Someone else grabs your ankle. But this is the last chain because I actually do want to get to the ritual. And now someone's grabbed your ankle.
I think
And being
Nira's
like,
like,
don't go.
I think Nira's like, I don't have time for this.
No
And
one
she's
has
gonna
time for
like raise her hand up to like bring the moisture that was keeping them warm and like have it like congeal into actual water and
Okay.
just shoot it at the ones that are grabbing them.
Yeah, so that
the
would be
face.
use magic.
Yeah.
freaking super soaker over here.
It's
Well,
like
I'm trying to
it's like a
control it to go
cat.
up their nose, so like they gag and like let go for a hot second.
Oh, that hurt! What? That's actually. Oh, that.
Oh.
Oh. All those times in the
Ooh.
pool.
That's 11.
Yeah, so it works without issues, and you can choose an extra effect.
Let me find the effects.
Slide 16, I think.
Oh, 16. Oh, here we go. Yeah, I think it's just gonna inflict harm to whoever's holding, because it's so much water that's in the air. It's gonna go up in their nose and into their lungs.
I'm gonna say because they're heavily weakened, they were basically a point off from just outright dying. So
Lyra doesn't care at this point,
Yep.
especially with them.
So yeah, you just kind of splash. I'm gonna say because it's cool and because we're finale, you finish off the rest of the mages that were there. Just one giant soak.
Yeah, I think the water shoots out, and like it hits them in the face like a splash, but it slides into their nostrils and their mouth, and then yeah, that will.
I'm gonna add, because there's no fire, it freezes and their faces are frozen in death.
Okay, I'll take it.
Yeah, so you're all free, and a whole bunch of fire mages are dead.
Nira, wait.
Oh, we have to go.
Yeah. We can't dawdle here. Let's go. There are cats in the grass. Murder cats.
And you all now notice the orbs of eyes. All like there's about 4 or 5 of them, and they're just sort of looking slightly hungry, but also it looks like they're looking for warmth. But they're also eyeing the frozen the ice cream treats you have left for them.
Okay, maybe they'll eat these corpses and leave us alone.
Right. All right. So you head towards the ritual site, and you see, sure enough, it is getting warmer and warmer, and the stepwell is lit up like a beacon, and it's even brighter before, it's even brighter than when fire was still existing. It's as if all the fire of this world is now contained somewhere within the stepwell. And you see a figure off in the distance around the site where where you had seen these sort of signs and runes. They're all lit up, and the fire one's the only one that's extinguished. However, you see a familiar sort of figure and silhouette of Rouge, who you had met earlier. And you see them almost floating, flying, getting, doing an incantation, and sort of looking at the earth rune. And you see their hair is flowing, their veil that they used to wear is like flown off, as their hair is kind of like, you know, when someone's flying or underwater, it's just all over the place. And it has little streaks of fire in them. And you hear a cackle, and you hear a sort of booming voice that sounds like the deep abyss mixed with the crackling of flames, say, sort of cackle and say, "Ah, the saviors of this world, welcome to the end of it."
We're not saviors. We're just here to kick your ass.
Oh, I am with Wu Ming on this one. I didn't appreciate your little trick with Salim there. But, you know, I think I'll manage to return the favor here. So let's see. They've got sorry,
I will also set the scene a little bit for you as you sort of are near sort of the precipice where after which, you know, when we're doing combat, you get to choose where you are. You see that there are other mages behind them, and they all seem to be helping, like being a part of this ritual. You see about 8 figures. It seems like a pair near each of the 4 runes that are there. You notice that near the fire, the 2 mages are basically on the ground, possibly unconscious, dead, you're not sure. The other 2 elemental mages, the other 6, essentially are casting something, and you see sort of as Rouge is kind of in the center and floating, there is this sort of shimmering shield around them.
I think while like everybody's having their big talks, I think Nira's not saying anything and just reaching into the gap of time and space like she usually does and pulls out her trident and flips it around so it expands and like it just gleams in the reddening moon. The darkening moon, yeah. And if no one else is gonna go, she's gonna dive right in.
Go for it.
Yeah, because I think she's gonna run and jump and twirl her trident around and just try to hit. Just go straight for a Rouge. Is that right?
A Rouge, yeah.
A Rouge, yeah.
All right. Kick some ass, or yeah, kick some ass.
All right. Where are we? Kick some ass with tough. What is my tough? It is a +2. Okay. That is a 7 on the dice, or 7 altogether.
Yep.
And I also have smite, so
okay.
just it makes it your body and divine weapon always count as a weakness against your monsters, against the monsters you fight.
Yeah. Okay. So, bro, I guess how much harm do you do then?
My trident always does 3 harm, and it's silver and holy.
So I think it does double.
Okay.
As a weakness, I think that's how it works, or basically it ignores. You see, because this is part puzzle, part kicking some butt. You see that you think you should penetrate and go past that shield and that barrier, and you notice it just is about to pierce it, and you bounce back. You have done enough damage to basically meet their armor.
How much damage did you do? Again?
6.
Excellent.
Yeah, you just see Nira running, and she's like, ah, and has her trident and is just going to stab, and then just a bubble just bouncing off that bubble, and she does that hits the ground, rolls, and then does the 3-point landing.
Yeah,
and then just glares.
Yeah, and you just hear the most the most smuggest cackle and say, "You think you can fight me, divine being? I am going to be the only divine being right now as I finish all of you off." And you see sort of starts to do a siphoning motion, at the earth, and you just see sort of like, air, like a feeling of, yeah, the earth is being siphoned, but it's not completed yet. Who would like to go next?
So, this is a big ritual which involves siphoning the earth into herself, and very importantly, not into anyone else who happens to be violently flung into the middle of the ritual after having been carried on my back into the ritual zone. And in which a, say, magically drained mage no longer able to access their element would arguably some sort of major impurity in this apocalyptic ritual.
Where are you going with this?
Gardain kind of picks the mage up off his back, like lifts him up and says, "Buddy, you are either going to be unfathomably powerful or incredibly dead. Good luck, buddy." And I am going to fling him into this, basically not to hurt her, but instead to just mess up this ritual, mess up this part of the ritual, and mess up the siphoning by introducing a wild fourth factor. In this case, the people suffering by her actions, or by Aruja's actions.
Okay. I'm gonna say, I'm gonna say treat the mage like a blunt force weapon. And kick some ass.
Okay.
If you manage
this is one of the things I'm good at.
If you manage to roll 12 plus, and essentially choose to do double harm or something of that sort, we will see what happens.
All right. So let's see. That's 5 and 4. That's a 9. That would be bad, but I am tough 3, so that is in fact a 12 plus. So we are going to choose this is going to do something wild to the ritual.
Okay.
Yes.
So what I'm gonna do is give you some very key information out of this. It's going to be barely any harm actually done. But it's going to give you a very important key to this puzzle challenge, essentially, that is here. So you fling this poor mage who's on death's last throes, and goes through the shield and essentially it turns into a bloody explosion. Doesn't do any damage, and there's like one splatter across Rouge's face, like almost like a slap. And you see, you don't quite stop the ritual because that shield is really powerful, but you do see how the shield is currently being held. You see as the body gets shredded, sort of the little threads and the anchors to where it is. And it is to each of the current standing mages. It's like part of their ritual is keeping them safe. You think if you take down those mages, you will lower her shields and she will become vulnerable.
Oh, Rouge, this is great. I mean, for someone whose plan relies on backstabbing everyone who's ever trusted you and stripping away all their magical power, you're putting a lot of trust in them right now. Guys, kill the other mages, and this is gonna go great for us.
You
or
see
at least,
her
you know,
smile slowly diminish as you have figured out what is going on, and she sort of is now incredibly pissed. And I'm actually going to have her do something as a reaction before the remaining people do something. She says, I don't need anybody. I can once I'm God, then I don't need anyone here. And suddenly sort of like a fireball erupts from her, and she sort of aims fire towards all of you. So you all will take 4 harm as a result of it. However, your armor and everything else will still apply.
All right, rolling for the immediate regeneration from my immortal ability. 8, heal 1 back from that. So I take 1 harm net, putting me at 2.
Okay.
How much harm did she throw at us again? I'm sorry.
4, but you can add
4.
you can subtract your armor from it and any other ability that would help.
And
How are you all doing before the rest of you do something?
I'm at 4 harm because
Okay.
I still had 2 from the previous session.
Okay. And
I'm
Haiti?
at 2 harm because I have the perma harm from keeping that portal closed.
I am A-okay.
Okay.
Nice.
And Nira?
Hold on, I'm doing math. Just making sure I don't have any extra stuff that I had 2 harm to start with, so I am currently sitting at 6 out of 7 harm.
Do you have any armor on?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So
Hold on.
yeah, you subtract the armor from that, so you don't take the full harm.
Okay, so I'm now at 5 out of 7.
Okay. Oof.
Damn.
Okay. That's okay. We're gonna be okay. I think we can probably survive for like 1 more round before we probably have to do some first aid. Can Wooming act next? Is that okay with folks?
Yes, it's
I'm gonna hop on Boog. I'm gonna say to whoever's remaining on Boog, get off, because I don't want you to get in the line of fire for this. I'm gonna say, yeah, I'm gonna kick Boog up into the air. I'm gonna take out my composite recurve bow. I'm gonna draw it. I'm gonna aim it at one of the mages doing the it doesn't matter to me which one.
Okay.
Just whichever one's easiest to hit. Whoever.
yeah. If you're flying, everyone's equally good. So take your pick.
I want to just shoot one of them.
All right, kick some ass.
Yeah. How many mini mages are there again?
6.
Right. That
So
makes sense
2
with
from
6 armor.
two from each, which is considering you've affected the armor twice, you know that currently she's got armor 6.
Yeah.
That is a 12, my friend.
Ooh.
Hey-o!
So what is your enhanced effect?
Oh boy. Instead pick an enhanced effect. You completely hold the advantage. All hunters involved in the fight get +1 forward. You suffer no harm at all. Your attack inflicts double the normal harm. Can I say double means I hit 2 of them instead of like double on 1?
Sure. Yeah.
If I like knock 2 arrows and try to hit 2 mages? Okay.
Sure.
I think that's what I want to do because my arrows deal 4 harm each.
Oof.
Yeah, because
okay, so here's the important question: which 2? Because those might be important later on. So there's 2 earth. It looks like 2 earth mages, 2 water mages, and 2 air mages.
I'm gonna hit an earth. Oh shit! I don't want to screw for Kahaaniyaan and Nira. An earth and a water. I want Boo to remain flying if that's possible. So an earth and a water.
Okay. Yeah. Both of them go down. You see the shields flicker a little bit, become weaker. It's 4 damage.
So I assume she's at 4 shield. Okay.
Yeah. And Haiti, I think, hasn't gone yet.
Yeah. Karnain makes if Karnain makes a suggestion to Haiti, before she goes, just Haiti, I'm not great at talking to people. You figured that out yet. But I would guess that at least a couple of these mages aren't on board with lose all your power and suffer eternally so your boss can get godhood and you get jack shit. Like, maybe you can talk them down and they're going to be better at it than me. And with all due respect, better at it than Wu Ming. All due respect, Wu Ming.
Wu Ming say, "Shut up, Karnain. I'm busy trying to kill him."
You think that'll work?
I mean, I am talking from like a third-party perspective here, but by and large, humans hate dying and hate pain. And if they win, they're going to be going through a lot of it for however long they live. It's a pretty good selling point.
Okay. Keeper question. The last episode, I think we were like sifting through weapons. Do I actually keep it?
Yeah,
Is
sure.
that actually part of my inventory? Okay. Because I think I picked up like a crossbow or something.
Yeah.
I'm still up in the air with
No, Wooming
Are we
had
down?
said,
Are we?
Wooming had basically said, everybody who's on Boog, please get off, because I don't want
Oh,
them to
okay.
Mhm.
Well, I got the fuck off, and
get... Or did you just hang
And-
on for dear life?
no, I kind of just mutter, noted, and I kind of start. I trek over to get closer to be in conversation distance with the mages.
Yeah. So go ahead.
And well, I have my crossbow strapped, and I'm like, hey, you see me, right? Hey. The butterflies just kind of like spin around.
Are you
fluttering.
using a very particular move?
Oh, I didn't even like look at that. I could swear I
Just
had
being
something.
charming. That's the move. You're on move now.
Let's see. La 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 la.
I feel like that's...
Damn.
What does that feel like, or something like that?
Yeah, I'm kind of in between.
Or truthiness?
Yeah, it's just that like, I mean, I don't know if they're like, I kind of want them more towards truthiness because like just for persuasion's sake, like they're gonna think whatever I say is fact, and it kind of is, but whatever.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So who are you going to? There is only one earth mage, one water mage, and 2 air mages left.
Oh, okay. Ooh, there's earth. Who took harm already? All of them?
Whoever took harm is dead.
Oh, you're just straight up died. Okay.
Yeah, those were headshots, my friend.
Headshot. Okay. I kind of want to. So errors. Let's go for the. Air mages.
Okay.
Or one of them, if like. I'd rather.
All right. What are you
plural.
saying to them as you're being
Uh,
dropping the T?
dropping that T
Yeah.
that T bomb. Hey, what? Why are you doing this? So you have all this like these like air powers. Okay, whoop-de-doo. But what happens after? Did they tell you that? Huh? Because honestly, like this is end of the world stuff, right? Like that means, and you live in this world, right? That means you'll end too, right? It's like simple math. So, I mean, did that person even offer you anything? What did they offer you? Tell me, because I'm pretty damn sure they didn't really tell you anything on that, huh?
We were going to ascend?
Ascend to where?
I don't know. Be super mages?
I don't know. Super mages. Oh, come on. You seriously think a person like that, and like points to like that, like cackling, and they're going to share any power? Are you kidding me?
But we're buddies. It's like serving a god who's our buddy.
Oh, sweetheart. That's not how it's going to end. So if I were you, I would kind of just like use your little air powers and just float away. I bet she wouldn't even notice you were gone.
And I'm gonna say that both of them sort of are now, you see them kind of, there's doubt in their eyes. They're suddenly having this, regretting every choice they have made up until this point. And they try to stop, but the connection hasn't severed yet. It is weakening. and you see Rouge sort of turn around and it's like, hey, where do you think you're going? And start sort of almost siphon pulling them. And they're now they're no longer helping, but it seems like this bond that has been connected is having trouble trying to break their bond with Rouge.
Okay.
And with that, you see Rouge going, gnats, all of you gnats, and it's so hard to find good help around here. And kind of just cracks and starts siphoning the earth a little more. And you see that, and this is somewhat in your favor, but also very terrifying for what's going to happen. You see that the lone earth mage that is there is starting to almost kind of wilt, desiccate, as whatever elemental connection they had to earth is starting to sever. And you see the earth around you, like the stepwell, it's now starting to really shake terribly, and there is debris falling everywhere. And you all take 2 harm from the falling debris.
I ignore that.
Armor applies, right?
Yeah, armor applies.
Okay, cool. Cool.
All right,
I
I
have-
have 6 to 7.
Oh god. I'm at 2 armor because I took battlefield awareness. So I think as the debris, I'm just sort of like dodging and weaving it on Boog. And we only get like hit by minor rocks.
Yeah, and Boog is starting to hurt just a little bit in terms of they might not be able to fly for too much longer with all
Okay,
of
that's fine.
these things happening. We don't have a harm tracker for Boog. I'm just sort of doing the grounded status if
That's
Boog
fine.
takes too much damage.
Okay.
And with that, you all get to act once more.
I want to go again first, if y'all don't mind.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Because I think Nira's getting up and, like, the rock's shifting and, like, she slips and, like, her leg falls. And she's like, you need to learn that power comes from those around you, not to being a siphon like yourself. And she points her trident at Arouge, and she's like, it seems like your plans are starting to fall apart. Pity. Let me help. And starts running towards her, and goes for the trident again.
All right, kick some ass.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
11. So you get to pick an effect.
I'm gonna
An extra effect.
I'm gonna negate, or let's see here. Oh, here we go. On a 7 plus, the amount is based on established. Oh, that's right. I did 11. Okay, I'm gonna suffer less harm than I would have gotten.
Yeah. With the damage, I would say it's double, so it's 6, right?
Yeah, 6.
You start to you actually do hit, because right now it's at 4 armor. And you just barely graze Rouge, and you see blood flowing, and her screaming as you hit. And she turns around and throws a errant fireball your way. So with less harm, you take that fireball to 1.
And then I have 1 armor, so
Yeah,
it just negates, or
it negates.
okay.
That was without factoring into armor.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it just bounces
I think
off you.
as the fireball like comes by, I think Nira just rolls out of the way just in time. And
Yeah, and she's like, "Why won't you die?" As she just does a flurry of like fireballs. You're next, and that is that. And who would like to go next?
So how many of the wizards are still trying to siphon? Or how many of the mages are still trying to
Two,
siphon?
and the two wind mages are trying to break their grasp, but haven't quite broken it yet.
Excellent. Let's pick one of them and make an object example of why the others should in fact stop. So I think Garnain has like put back together his human disguise on the way here, and as he like barring the hand that it fell apart on because he's holding the portal together, and he's going to rush one of the remaining mages, let's say the earth one, because he's kind of falling apart anyways. We're trying to and I'm going to go full in attack with the magic hell sword, aka
Yep.
his limbs. So that's 7 plus 3, 10. 10 plus, which gets us, let's see.
And this is kicking ass, correct?
Yeah, this is kicking ass.
Okay.
So
you get to choose an extra effect.
I'm going to go with I force them where I want them. So like even if they're not badly hurt, they're unable to channel this spell because there is a transforming giant bug monster seemingly trying to eat them.
Yeah, they are so scared that they're no longer trying to concentrate, and they're trying to basically sort of panic attack you, and are just these mages will just do, I will say, so each of them kind of just throw stuff at you, and they will do 2 harm apiece, but you apply armor to each of them.
All right, so that is 0 harm apiece. As he is flinging stuff at me, and Garnain is stalking forward and periodically stabbing at him with giant limbs. Not yet going for the kill, as if you can get one more of them off this spell, maybe we can minimize the body count here.
Yeah, so they're no longer actively helping, but like you saw with the air mages, they're having trouble breaking this bond. So you think enough of a distraction and time, maybe doing it once more might completely break the bond. And they are now, all 4 mages are in absolute panic. But they are panic from people attacking them, from debris falling, from this big T-bomb being dropped at them if they get diddly squat and they're just bonds in the game, and also being unable to break this bond that they thought they had control on. They are absolute panic.
The mages at Salim's house trusted you, Aruj. They thought they were going to get through that just fine. I'm sure your friends are realizing how that went for them.
Yeah, you think it's only a matter of time before these bonds will snap.
Excellent.
Yeah, who would like to go next?
All right, one big shock.
Yeah.
I would like to further that distraction and use my "what does that feel like" move to further distract the mages and hopefully set up a shot for Wuming to KO or get those bonds broken. And I
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I think Katie's just gonna like continue where they started the converse, like just continue on and is just like, see, they called you gnats. Gnats, you're a bug. Not even worth their time to shoo away. And like, you're like, look, they're grabbing energy from you. Like, what are you, some energy, like some random energy source that they can just like suck out and then you're gonna evolve. I don't think that's how it works. I don't think that's how partnership works. So I don't know. It kind of just seems like you're not getting anything part of the deal, you know? So, I mean, I kind of feel bad for you.
And I'm going to say that's enough for them to sort of break. And they are just fleeing, panicking. Do
Bye.
do y'all let them go?
I would. How many mages would be left to sustain the shield?
None. All 4 of them are just absolute panic and they're fleeing.
Okay. If that's Hades' turn, I want to
Yeah.
shoot. I want to shoot this person.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, maybe with Boog's last bit of like flying strength, Umi's gonna turn her bow and arrow onto this final mage and poof, just like let it fly. And as she does, she says, "Heads up!"
And this is at Rouge, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, please kick some ass.
Okay, come on, big money. Okay, that's a 6.
Big money, big
That is
money,
a
big
5. That is another 12, my friend.
money.
You get to pick an enhanced effect. What enhanced effect would that be?
Death.
I'm gonna inflict double the normal harm, so that's gonna be 8 harm.
Yeah. It's sort of
Okay.
Nice.
the shield was still on, but it was very, very little. It does a lot of harm, and they're looking very, very hurt because Nira
They're
did
not
also.
dead.
They're not dead because what happens as soon as you do that, they sort of stop floating and fall to the ground, and their shield is busted, and they turn around, and the two fire mages that are down and crawling basically does this big siphoning kind of gesture, and they just turn into ash, and you see that arrow just pop right off as if it would never harmed her, and that gash that was there from the trident heal as she heals completely. However, there's no more
Some boss
mages.
fight shit.
Yeah, there's no more mages though, so that's a good thing.
That's some final
And
boss shit right
starts
there.
floating and is going to try to finish this earth siphoning thing, and is now flying above you all in a desperate attempt to finish siphoning. What do you all do?
Should I go? Is it okay if I go first again? Sorry, I keep jumping up. I don't know if anybody else has anything, but
I'm fine. I am but a mere mortal.
Go for it.
okay. I think Nira sees her going for the Earth Sigil, and she jumps down, and like tries to jump down in front of her before she gets to it, and she's like, "This ends now," and I think she's gonna pull all the water out from the well, and just I want to do a big magic where
Yep.
it just screws up the sigil, screws her up, just in general, just causes chaos and rocks her world, like
Okay.
not in the good way.
So I'm gonna say you will be able to do it now, and like, without any extra requirements, but there's going to be a big consequence for failure here. If you fail your roll, you might end up having this entire stepwell crashing down on everyone, including yourself.
Question.
Mm-hmm.
Should I just? Well, I just want to ask you,
Mhm.
if I use my last luck point here.
If you use your last luck point, you succeed.
Uh-huh.
Nothing else is going to, basically, when you run out of luck points, if you would take harm that would kill you, you did. So it doesn't mean anything. It's just you're out of luck, essentially. Like, it doesn't mean you die if you lose your luck points.
Let me roll first, and then I'll think about it.
Yeah, it just means you can no longer essentially save yourself from taking no harm by spending a luck point.
Like literally SOL. You
Yeah.
are.
All right. And is it with weird still for big magic?
It's with weird.
Okay. 5, 7, 8. So that'll be an 8.
Which is essentially it works imperfectly. You choose your effect and a glitch, and I will decide what the glitch is.
I'm just debating if I want to make that a 12 plus. Because I'm also 6 of 7 now.
Because I mean, 8. Wait,
if you
what did
use it up, you can no longer use luck, but it doesn't necessarily mean you die or whatever. It just means if you want, you can use your last luck point to.
I'm gonna use it.
All right. Ooh.
We're full, baby.
You are now out of luck points.
You are SOL, baby.
Yeah.
Yes. Just try not to die.
No promises.
Yeah, you succeed. Please tell me what you do.
And I think because it's such big magic, Nira pulls from the water well. Like the water, like the rumbling from Earth was because of the Earth stuff, and now it's rumbling because the water is starting to come up through the pipes that, that they haven't come through in a long while, and like shoot up in like a geyser.
Yeah.
And just shoot up and open up and then just come down and consume down on a rouge. Just like, and pulls her down in a way, and also at the same time erases. I don't know if we can erase the sigils, but like block them out so they're not getting used.
You can't really do that because they're inscribed in the stone.
That's
but
fair.
Essentially what you're doing is you're just drowning her and dragging her into the bowels of the earth.
If everybody's okay with that. Okay. All right, she's going.
Okay.
Yeah, and they're just like grabbing her and just starting to pull her down. And
yeah, as she starts screaming and gurgling, essentially drowning, as sudden as sort of the middle of this stepwell suddenly shoots out in a geyser, grabs her, and shrieks her down, suddenly you also, as sort of first water had risen and kind of gone straight back down in almost an instant, like blink and it's there and gone, suddenly in that big hole where that geyser shot from, there is a huge fire, like an eruption of fire, like a volcano without lava. And suddenly, all the torches, all the everything nearby start lighting up with fire, as fire essentially is returned to whence it came. And with that, we're gonna take a short break.
Excellent.
Wow.
Yes. So we will see what happens in the aftermath. But for now, go stretch, use the facilities. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be back in a bit. So see ya.
Peace.
Yeah, that would. Hello and welcome back to Kahaaniyaan. We have just defeated the big bad boss Rouge of the Ascendants. And I realized in all of the fight that I didn't have a chance to show off my haphazard makeup, so I'm just gonna use this opportunity right now, like, if she had taken her glasses off, what it would have looked like. So
So
that's
spooky. I love
yeah.
Oh my goodness.
It's so
Into
good.
it.
Yeah, so as that fire, basically explosion with fire coming back into the world, you all kind of almost feel like you're no longer in the material plane. You're somewhere in some metaphysical space. You're not sure. Instead of this hole in the center where fire was bursting forth, you see what looks to be a route leading to some big plant somewhere. You're not sure where is up, where is down. And you all hear a voice in your head that says, "Thank you for restoring the balance back into this world. As my new Rukshuks." And just for audience sake, as well as for everybody, that Rukshuks are basically guardians. As my new guardians in this age, in this new age, I want to bestow a blessing on each of you. And who wants to go first?
I reserve the thing to go last.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
I'll go first.
Yeah.
Said me for the first time ever.
Yeah. And
yeah, Hades just like, like they don't know they're going first, but they're just like, I don't think that's necessary. Guardians, that Rakshuks, that seems like a lot. And then starts just mumbling.
and in your head, and everybody kind of hears this, it's like you're all hearing at the same time, just no speaker or person or whatever, you're not sure where it's coming from. Haiti, you hear a very sort of almost calming presence and a calming voice say, "Haiti, I know you doubt yourself, that you are incapable of helping in such major stakes in this world, but you are just as important as each of your friends here. Even the smallest gust can change still can change the face of, and you kind of almost feel like as these words are pouring out, it's like a very small pleasant gust running through grass or picking up a leaf and making it do sort of acrobats, and you kind of get this thing of like basically small wind can create beautiful things. And you feel behind you, similar to your drones, and it's up to you whether it's actually real or just sort of you kind of feel it, but you feel like your butterfly little wings forming behind you. What do they look like?
Ooh. I kind of want to keep the butterfly motif. They're not, I don't think they manifest like physically, but if anyone who has like been in touch with the elements or have been like magic touched, they could probably see like an outline of it, like very, very thin. And they're not just like teeny tiny butterfly wings. Like you will see like it's like these translucent big wings that that are proportionate to Hades' size. And they're just like, the outline is black and the wings are kind of like this, like very like vibrant pinks and blues, and then it kind of goes like to a darker purple down to the bottom. Yeah.
Yeah, and you all also kind of see it, and then it sort of dissipates. Like you get to see what it looks like if you could see it, and then it kind of it sort of blends and disappears. And you start hearing various voices saying, "Welcome, welcome. I have so much to tell you, and I have so much to I have the tea girl." Like you hear all these
I have the tea girl.
and you hear again that soothing kind of like divine voice basically saying, "And no matter where you go, you will never be alone."
Oh, and Haiti kind of just smiles at that.
Who would like to go next?
I can go next.
Yeah.
Wuming sort of looks around. Who is this?
And you just hear a little kind of chuckle and laugh that sounds like, you know, like bells, the most pleasant bells, like when they swing freely in a temple in the air, and you kind of and you hear a my biggest protector.
God?
And there's a sort of like you could almost hear like a smug kind of lopsided grin. You could almost sense it and say, not quite, but perhaps if it that is how you mortals can manifest me." And you see almost like kind of a montage of you and Boog and everything, and says, "Regardless of what happens when you go back to the mortal world, please know that I value you and what you do too, and the cost of protecting this world and its people. And Boog will grow further in his powers, and you must be there to guide him." And you get quick mental images of you trying to go somewhere, and suddenly Boog is in front of this delicious haystack with you inadvertently going. and goes to a carrot market now, and then goes to other places grabbing things, and you're kind of just like, wait, and you get the sense these are sort of possible futures.
Nice. Thank you. Thank you. I don't crave any of this magic for my own. I've seen how much it can corrupt, and I don't trust myself not to be corrupted. And I think, like, as Booming says that, like, we see images of like a memory from like Makara, I think was the name of that water town, where like
Makara.
Booming had grabbed one of the objects and had basically like desired its power in that moment. Booming's like, I don't trust myself. So I'll do my best to guide Boog and help guide this new world into a better future.
And the final message the final thing you hear from this voice is, "It is always those who are most reluctant to take power that are deserving of the responsibility power gives them." And with that, we fade to Kahaaniyaan. Kahaaniyaan, what's going through your mind as you are taking these in? You do see sort of Hades' little transformation, and you see Boog kind of like suddenly maturing just a little. The horns are getting more elaborate, like sort of like a full-grown stag. Bashir?
Sorry?
Oh, did you hear what I said?
No, I heard like transformation and then cut out.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay. I was just saying, what's going through your mind as what is Carnane going through as you see these transformations happening?
I think I think Garnane starts out kind of ambivalent and then starts getting kind of confused because on the one hand, he doesn't think there like off the top of his head, he doesn't think there's much for him to get here. He's more or less what he thinks he wants to be at the moment. And like an additional neat magic power isn't going to do much for him. And on the other hand, he's pretty curious since this is very much the closest he's been to like actually being addressed directly by something that close, like that divine.
Ah, you are worried that that there will be some retribution for who you are.
Not quite how I'd phrase it, but sure.
As the root of all life and magic in this world, I could fulfill a desire of yours.
And I think he kind of looks around him and goes, "I'm pretty okay on design. I'm pretty hard to sate. Let's go with that. Let's go with that. Enormous tastes. Fulfilled desires haven't been on the menu historically."
And you are given images of essentially being mortal once again. How do you react to that?
I think it's not like a reflexive disgust, but it is kind of a disinterest. Like, nah, this isn't like envying death sort of thing. Not really my jam, I'm afraid.
Perhaps you would like, and then you sort of the voice in your head goes, perhaps you would like to be this, and you get images essentially of a being of light and life and essentially never having the need to feed again, kind of like an angel of sorts, but a life elemental essentially of like being.
Definitely not no, that's I think we're operating on different wavelengths here. The entire never have to bother with any of this. It's not really what I stuck around for. It's a pretty neat world everyone's got going. It's participating, let's say. Being part of it, overrated. Participating, that's where it's at. And I can do that okay right now, barring the occasional, let's go with hunger.
And at that point, you see a pouch appear in your hand.
He looks in.
And in it, essentially, as you open it, there is sort of this light that sort of washes over you. And you don't look any different. But you feel very sated. And mechanically, essentially, you are now sort of no longer essentially a Prince of Apocalypse and more of a natural elemental, but also this little bag that is there. If you open it, it will essentially sate whatever desire you have. So if you feel like you're in a position where I really shouldn't eat this person, this would be bad for whatever, you could open the bag up.
Makes sense. Yeah, I think he nods at that and goes, "Thank you. That's greatly appreciated."
And that connection that you have, that feeling of dread of dealing with your brother, you feel okay with it. Like you could go tackle with it, but it no longer feels like an immediate threat for the dying being.
Mm-hmm.
Like some sort of a connection has been hazy. It's not completely broken, but it is very hazy and almost kind of like hiding you from his presence.
Makes sense.
And then Nira, what do you think is sort of your equivalent of paradise?
Well, quite a phrase like that.
Not the monotheistic paradise, but just sort of like a beautiful place you'd never want to leave from.
And her mind strictly goes back to the waters of the beach and the ports of oh god, what's the city called? Jeez, I'm so bad with names.
Koldak?
Koldak, yeah.
Yeah, so you go there and you see rising from the water edge a beautiful woman, and on her hand is perched a little firebird. And she says, "Hello, Nira.
Hello.
I see you have done above and beyond for preventing the Ascendants from creating this place into a void wasteland."
I had to do anything at all costs to make sure that it wouldn't go to that. I was willing to give it all.
It's good. That means you might be ready to take my place. I want to spend more time with my partner. And sort of points towards the deep sea. You know this being as Jal Mata, essentially the coastal sea goddess of this area. A very strong and old divine water elemental being.
I think Nira looks at her and then takes a second and looks back to the city as like it's probably nighttime still. The lights are starting to flicker again as the like fire and stuff, right?
Yeah.
And she's quiet and she looks back. And she looks back and she's like, "Will I ever be able to walk on land again?"
Once a year, when they honor us at the Harvest Festival.
Can you give me a day or two to get things in order? And then I'll be happily to take your place.
Of course. If perhaps you have other plans, you don't have to do this. It is an honor, but it is not mandatory.
And I think she falls silent and she's like, It is an honor. Something I've always wanted. But and she looks back to the city again and then like looks back like quickly. I'm here to serve.
When you're ready with your decision, come see me at the edge of the pier, which you know exactly where that is, and I do not have a name for said pier. And hands you.
I feel like we're on it right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And hands you a pearl and says, if you decide to join me, simply drop this into the ocean.
And she'll gently take it and let it roll around in her palm and then tuck it away.
And with that, you all suddenly, like, it's only happened in a blink of an eye, but you all are back now in the stepwell. And there's a big gaping hole, and nothing else. Everything, like, you're back in the mortal world. And with that, we are going to now go into the immediate aftermath very quickly before we end this episode. So I'm going to start off with the agency. The agency recovers. It takes about a year to recover, and how do you explain what happened, and what would you like to happen with the agency and yourself?
Oh god. So I blew it up, so I feel like they're gonna fire me. But before they do, I think I'm gonna quit. I think. But offer my greatest condolences and a sincere apology. And I think Wu Ming will. Well, everyone at the agency survived, but they're pretty beat up.
Yeah, they're beat up.
So wherever the scene takes place, Wu Ming's gonna go to her handler, her superior, turn in her resignation, and accept whatever punishment might come her way before she quits. She's gonna take it, and then part ways.
Well, usually something this serious goes in front of the council of all the elders in the city. Like, basically all the heads of guilds and important figures of the city have a council, and they make major decisions, such as someone who blows up the agency. And you will probably essentially the equivalent of community service for like a year or two, because especially with rebuilding. But the fact that you essentially saved the world is the only reason why you have not suffered a far more dire consequence. And Boog definitely now teleports.
Yeah, that's true.
So what do you do in sort of the aftermath of, like, I would say a year or two? Like, what happens to Wu Ming?
Can I also say that a minor boon I got from this entity was the ability to breathe underwater with like air stuff? Can
Sure.
I just
Yeah, you can make a little air bubble. You can make little air. You basically have an air pocket helmet.
Okay. Wonderful. Because I think what Wu Ming would do is would want to visit Nira as often as she could, who I'm assuming lives like in the water.
Well,
like somewhere.
Yeah. Do you I guess we'll just directly go to Nira. Nira, what do you do in the immediate like in the sort of short-term aftermath of like a couple of years, and also do you take that offer?
Yeah, I think the immediate aftermath is I think there's a shot where Nira is telling Wu Ming, and there is this like the firm handhold, and then just the soft release, and like her turning on her heel and leaving. There's another scene where she drops the pearl into the water, and the water comes up and like a wave taking in like a seashell out to the sea. Like she just once it comes up, she disappears within it. And I think yearly she'll pop in, checking on everything, see how things are going. You know, and
The harvest festival is usually when the sea and the river are essentially praised and celebrated and thanked, which is like so essentially like in fall with homecoming sort of a thing.
yeah, Nero will make her appearances during the festival, and an incognito, just because she wants to blend in and just enjoy it as what it is for the moment. And then we'll always retreat back to the water. We'll appreciate Wooming visiting if when she does, and we'll spend as much time as with Wooming and Haiti as well, because apparently
Yeah, this is probably a
Yes.
good segue to Haiti. What do you come up like? What does Haiti do in sort of the short term aftermath of all of this?
I think they go on like a break. Like this whole apocalypse, that whole adventure and mages and siphoning, and now as these powers, like these blessings, like that's a lot. So, and like it would be nice to stick around and take care of Tim Tim. But
Yeah, Timton becomes big, by the way. Within
oh my
a
God.
year or two, is like as big as a large dog, but basically owl. Horned out, like with horns, owl
Oh
like
my
creature.
God, that is awesome. Yeah, so definitely would need a place. And I think
And
since
eats all sorts of weird stuff.
oh, Jesus.
And we'll get to Carnane in a moment, but I imagine Carnane fuels that mostly.
Yeah. Oh, well, just to wrap it up, I guess. I think they want to, now that like Wooming has quit and they're on a break, I think like throughout this year, Haiti is actually going to try to settle and like make like this, make a like a cafe, but also wants to use their powers as like sort of an informant, like it's all in their head right now, but will use their powers as kind of like getting all the information and gossip, and then any adventure or maybe like a professional like Wu Ming who maybe works in the I don't know what Wu Ming's doing, but yeah, well there's a place to like a home base kind of thing, but like it's a cafe.
Nice. And Carnane.
Yeah.
What's the name of, actually before that, what's the name of the cafe?
I
Do
do
you
want
buy
it
out
related.
Jollibee Junction?
I thought Jollibee was pop. Well, that would be cool. Or maybe I'll be this rival. Ooh, like a rival? I don't know. I kind of want to keep the blah blah, like the butterfly wing motif.
There was that upscale place that like mostly burned to the ground and got
Oh
wrecked.
yeah, maybe I got
That's
it
probably
super cheap.
significantly, yeah.
oh,
Maybe-
the bar cafe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
it got super
It's so
cheap
much
and I
cheaper real
took over.
estate.
Yeah.
The Morny, which was basically it's the Morny is a what it means basically is a female peacock.
Mm-hmm.
So actually, sorry, I just realized it's sort of like a peacock. Let's just, because I realized peahens don't actually look great, but Morny kind of, it was a cabaret. You know what? My naming conventions aside, it was essentially a peacock, which was a dinner cabaret bar place. But yeah, you could totally take that over, and maybe you can think of a name while we go over what Carnane does.
All right.
Yeah, so
Let me do that.
Carnane, what do you
So-
do?
Kahaaniyaan, like, he stops in pretty regularly to like check on the others or check on Salim and make sure they're doing okay, or to just like catch up on how things are going. But for the most part, he's kind of you know how coffee shops and stuff will sometimes have tales of like that weird repeat customer who comes in and orders something bizarre or probably hazardous to human life and then just leaves as if this is normal, or restaurants will kind of have similar things. He's more or less doing that, more kind of across the land. He's experiencing what the world has to offer and getting used to socializing with people on something beyond, oh, I'm probably going to trigger the end of the world in a few months. So it's a very new and weird place for him to be. And a lot of his time is just kind of spent figuring that out and meeting new people. Yeah?
Actually, with essentially becoming more of a nature elemental, you no longer are going to trigger the apocalypse.
Yep. So he's very much figuring out kind of, who am I without being that? And more or less just being this weird, vaguely pleasant dude who shows up and tries out whatever the local town or city has on offer in truly worrying quantities.
I feel like you're like this version of Man versus Food, where you just like try to get all the biggest like food competitions,
Yes.
and you're like, yes, give me.
Yeah, and unless someone has anything they would like to add, this is our season 2. We're done.
Excellent.
Oh God.
Wow. Wow.
And with that, the book closes of Kahaaniyaan.
Of this particular
Excellent.
season. We'll be back with season 3 next year. We're going to take a bit of a break as we recharge the holidays as well as plan for season 3.
Oh, God, the holidays
And
coming up.
and also we might between now and December have an extra sort of like an AMA after the show episode. We will, as soon as we figure out when that is, we will do the social media stuff. But we're gonna have a bit of a break, and yeah, wow, another season completed. So as part of wrapping up, let's go around the table and tell us who you are and where we can find you on the internets. Let's go in sort of in reverse order. So Kupo.
Oh, hi, I'm Kupo, and I, for the last time, played Haiti using the Snoop playbook. You can catch me on Twitter at Kuponai KUP0KNIGHT. I do have a Twitch channel of my own, Kupo_night, but I was a bit on hiatus, but with the whole shit that's going down right now, I don't know if I want to continue on this platform. So I don't know. But if you are so interested, my Twitch channel is Kuponai, KUPO_KNIGHT. But best bet, you can find me on Twitter. Other than that, you can catch me every Sundays at 12 p.m. Pacific at the All Nerds Here channel, where I play in Access Code Animon, where plucky youths save the world a la Digimon, Final Fantasy, and Kingdom Hearts. So if you like any of those 3 IPs and games of saving world hopping and summoning cute little monsters and beating up the bad guys, then come check us out at every Sunday.
Yeah, Connie.
Hey everyone, I have been Connie, pronounced they, he, and she. I've been Wu Ming, she, her, the professional. Wow. What an emotional end. What a great finale to season 2 of Kahaaniyaan. I'm so happy to be here. If you want more of Connie goodness, check me out on Twitter at @ByConnieChang. That is ByConniechang. I am also the GM and producer behind Transplanar RPG. This is an all transgender people of color led 100% homebrew Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition live streamed actual play campaign set in an original non-colonial anti-orientalist world. If that sounds interesting to you, if you're like, what's up with that? Check out our stream Saturdays at 3 p.m. U.S. Central Time on Twitch. We also release new podcast episodes from our backlog of past streams, edited, produced, audio leveled podcast episodes Tuesdays. So subscribe to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Podbean, wherever you might pod your casts. Just search Transplanar RPG. And outside of Transplanar, you can support me on Patreon at ByConnieChang, where I release exclusive GM tips and more. I'm also always releasing new games to my itch, also at, you guessed it, ByConnieChang. So follow me on all the social media platforms. Pop into my DMs, say hi, reply to my stuff on Twitter. I'm active, I'm friendly. I promise I don't bite that much. I'm going to pass things along. I believe what'll be next will be... should I just pass it to someone? Let's do Morgan. Let's do Morgan. Yeah.
Okay. Hey, I'm Morgan. They, she pronouns. I just finished playing Nira, she, her pronouns. You can find me on all the socials at Serena Bezos. That's SIRENABSOS. I'm a tabletop content creator. I do live plays like this. I do podcast work. I do writing. I do sensitivity consulting. Yeah. So, what do I have next? Roots Unknown with RPG Hour is the thing that I do. It's every other Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Central. I'm looking at my calendar right now. I'm trying to see what else to do. Playing Mask every Sunday at 12 noon Central with a bunch of TikTok folks that I met. And with Huetopia, because I'm one of the ones who is hosting it, right now we are doing the BIPOC Vamp Jam, meaning that we are having people of color designers write games revolving around vampires and submitting them. So far, we have 5 games submitted, and it's been out for 3 days, Mariam? Something like that?
Yeah, well, it was on the 18th, so a couple of
5
days.
days? Yeah, a few days. And we have the jam going until, I believe, the 8th.
Yes. September 8th.
And from there, we are hopefully taking BIPOC Vamp Day weekend and running these games for our people on Huetopia. So if you're interested in us and supporting people of color designers, please check out that itch.io. Thank you, Jess, for sharing it. To look at those games, buy the games, because support the designers, please, and thank you. And yes, be on the lookout for what else we have going on here. And Bashir.
Hey, I'm Bashir Gauss, he, him. I am a TTRPG game designer, freelance writer, and cultural consultant working with all sorts of companies. And working with all sorts of companies like Paizo, Rowan Rook and Deckard, Cobalt Press, etc. You can find my independent work at havocfet.itch.io. You can find my 5e modules like It Hungers on DM's Guild. I am currently also testing out the streaming tests of the in development multiverse app, where I am showing off my in development 5e module, The Time Ship. And yeah, you can find me at Twitter at Bashir Gauss.
Yeah, and I was your keeper for this season. And speaking of BIPOC Vamp Jam, I am close to finishing a game, my first game that I'll be writing for it, and it's a hack off Lasers and Feelings, but I still feel like a hack, still a game for the purposes of submitting a game. And
nonetheless, yes.
Yes. Other than that, and the stuff I'm doing on Huetopia, I generally lurk around in Huetopia. And I am also going to be in September doing a short campaign, Kids on Brooms, TTRPG Beyond the Corridor. So I'm super excited for that. Check that out. And if you want to follow me, you can do that at media_junkie on Twitter. And Oh, I do stuff. I think the best thing to do is just go on my Twitter, where you'll see me talk about food, cats, crafts, and games. That's me in a nutshell. And just I think I'm just blubbering now because it's end of there's a lot of emotions of completing
We
a
got
second campaign.
feelings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to say I appreciate all of you for playing and deciding to be a part of this thing.
Oh my god,
And
we appreciate you for running this again and providing this story and like nothing but hard hands. Yeah.
And also, just one last mention, which I didn't do at the start, but hey, now at the end, of the wonderful character art, including the big bad Rouge that I tried to dress up as, and I'm just like, I'm too hot to wear the veil right now, otherwise I would. And also, with the whole ritual and everything, the veil was gone anyways, so, hair flying everywhere. Yeah, just amazing artist Ashwarya, who is on Twitter at Toondoon Den Den. There's a link. Wonderful, thank you. And please go show her some love. She's an amazing artist. And I think with that we are done, I guess, and it is farewell for now. And yeah, thanks. The red hair does kind of evoke. Yes, see, that's everything. It was totally on purpose. And we will probably have an episode of a cast AMA look back, but that'll be at another time. And you can't see me crying because I've got glasses on. um Yeah, okay. We're blubbering. We're a little over time, but it's okay. It's a finale. But I think with that, thank you everybody for tuning in. And also, if you're watching this as a VOD, thank you for watching. And we are now going to go to our end screen, and we are going to go raid another channel, show them some love. And in these dark and uncertain times of Twitch needing to do better, please take care of yourself, stay safe, and support marginalized people and creators. Yeah, so with that, bye.